Hanson here. I was promising yesterday to talk to you about a vision I had from the 1933 movie, sci-fi horror, The Invisible Man with Claude Rains, about a person who is invisible and they put all these bandages on themselves, wrap themselves up so that they can be seen. Now, there's a metaphor for us, isn't it? I pictured myself standing in front of a full-length mirror and as an invisible person and not getting any reflective feedback. This is a state I have been in several times in my life when I was in transition. It is the way I spent most of my childhood and my adolescence. And that was with a sense that I wasn't embodied, that I didn't have a physical existence, that I was somehow translucent and that people could just walk through me. And what this comes from when you have as your defense system dissociation. You're safe if you're not you. You're safe if you're not in your body. You're safe if it's like a slippery cup without a handle. Nobody can get a hold of me because, there is no me. And so we become invisible to ourselves as a way of going through the world. And it was so bad for me that one time when I was driving in posts in order to grow plants in the backyard, I missed the post and I hit my hand. It was hurting me. I went to the doctor about 2 weeks later and he said, you have broken the bones in your hand. Couldn't you feel that? And I could say to him, well, it was slightly irritating, but because I wasn't in my body, because I had left my body as a defense mechanism, there were whole periods of time in my life when I simply did not understand that my bones in my hand were broken, or I was walking around for 5 years with cancer, or, that there was something wrong with my ankle. And that is the price you pay when your defense mechanisms are so high that you're not even on the earth. You're living like an invisible person. You're living like a ghost. You're living like the person who is not there. And I had a client once that was telling me that he would always lay back and be very quiet when he met a person until he could intuit what the person wanted him to be. Think about that. I'm a chameleon. If you want me to be green, I'll be green. If you want me to be, multicolored green and orange, I'll do that. You just show me what you want me to be, and I will morph into that. And that's from a defense system that we put in place when we're not grounded, when we're afraid to be ourselves. And I think this is something that a lot of people have problems with as I coach them. They don't know what they're feeling. They have no idea what their body is doing. They don't understand what their body needs or what their spirit needs And when you disassociate that severely, your ability to protect yourself, ironically enough, has been disarmed. They have shown studies to show that highly anxious people are the people that are least likely to understand a dangerous situation. Think of it like a smoke detector that's going off all the time. So if there's actual smoke in your proximity, you don't react to it because your detector is already going off. So this is an advantage of learning grounding practices. And I've got to say, I've been at this. It wasn't easy and it wasn't quick. I've been at this. I'm going to be 80 pretty soon, and I've just cottoned on the last 3 years. If I am grounded, if I am doing deep breathing exercises so I can understand how my lungs work, if I am in a conversation with my body, and I have these conversations where I say, body, what's going on with you? And then I do this sweep inside my body with my focus, with my consciousness. It's kind of like a house inspection. You're going to buy a house and you hire an inspector to walk around and go like, is there a problem? And you can do that with yourself. You can have this conversation when you wake up in the morning and do a sweep by taking in a deep breath and asking your body, how are you? What's going on with you right now? I think the difficulty we're facing in this new reality, in this quick, confusing, everybody's dropping acid and it's happening, and there are strobe lights and there's somebody in a clown costume on a tricycle, and over there next to the wall, somebody's stapling clothing on the wall, and you're just going like, what is going on? It's very difficult for us to grab on to an exterior sense of ourselves any longer. We can't do it. So when we stand in society's mirror and ask, who am I? We're like the invisible man. There's nothing there. And when I was growing up, it was very clear. You're a woman, there. You're this tall, you've got white skin, you're upper middle class. All of the definitions were in place. But the thing that was happening is they were in place before you got in front of the mirror. They were already there. You were like a paper doll. I am this. And the society has labeled me, has drawn a picture, and all I do is move into the outline of who I am because it's already determined. Right now, we have to really get clear about who we are. We can no longer turn over our decisions to our friends. My friends bought this car, so I bought this car. Or my friends eat this, so I eat this. Or my friends all drink, so I drink. We're starting to understand that this sense of invisibility and this sense of dissociating and this sense of not being real is a defense mechanism from living in a very traumatizing culture. It is all about trauma. War after war after war, hatred, deciding that these people aren't worth taking care of. All of that is showing up right now. And a lot of people are shocked by it. But people who study history, people who study how cultures work, how when you have a war in the Middle East, when you have a war in your country and people are going to war and they are watching death, and when you have a masculine power pyramid where women have no power at all. When I was growing up, women couldn't get credit. They couldn't buy things. Even in the 70s, I couldn't open a bank account on my own. And so we have these various levels of trauma that have come into our existence. And we're not understanding that. This is a period of time when we're processing trauma. We're seeing what's wrong. We're just looking and we're going, holy shit, this is terrible. Now, if you are grounded and when you stand in the mirror and you see who you are, you got so much more ability to grow your spirit, to live with intention, to hold a place of compassion in your heart. Because that's how we shift this old way of just ignoring what is wrong and just being invisible in front of the society's mirror and waiting for it to show us who we are. It's a strong message, but it has come through to me on a daily basis. Breath work, stepping out the door with intention to love, watching my own knee-jerk reactions, watching my own programming. I heard something today I thought was so beautiful. Beliefs are simply something you've been given. So my mother gives me this belief about what a woman is, and my school teacher gives me this belief about who I am, and we put all of that stuff in our pockets, which is great if you're trying to drown yourself. You're going to walk into the lake and you won't float. But we have to examine our beliefs. I believe this. The next question is, why? Where does that come from? And is it serving my higher self? That's the question. So thank you so much for watching my video. I really appreciate how many people are watching. I'm just thrilled. Do like and subscribe. I also have this desire in my heart to help other people. It took me my whole lifetime to get myself out of a horrific trauma state of being invisible, of being unclear about who I was, to come to a place where I'm just happy. I got my kitty, I've got my house, I got my friends. I can breathe with Wim Hof every day. Thank you, Wim. And I would like to make it quicker for you to get there without all of the repeated lessons. Slamming, maybe you won't be as dense as I was. Maybe you'll get there right away. Do get a hold of me if you want a psychic channel reading. What I do is I can see where the trauma hit, what the problem is. I'm like a good mechanic. You turn the engine on and I can hear what's wrong. And I can help you draw up a life plan so that you can move away from driving with your muffler dragging on the highway. We don't want to do that. So think about the mirror, think about who you are, and start coming inside, because that's where the power is. The locus of power is inside of you. And the whole acid dropping crowd of circus performers and weirdness out there, it's got nothing to do with you. It's just people that don't know who they are, and they're trying so hard to try to look like something. Anyway, so thank you. I am going to be running courses in my house. I am going to be starting to put some courses up online. I'm expanding, not physically, but in a social media way. And I really appreciate your support.